false left-right paradigm of American politics. Shitting on you faggots. A big two-finger salute to the state. Welcome home. Welcome to Planet Fuck You.
Yes, indeed. Welcome one, welcome all, state haters, to planetfuckyou.com, where you can get some, but not all, of the most egregious stories of our time. Today is April 13th, 2013. And let's dive right into the bog of shit, shall we? Allow me to direct your attention to planetfuckyou.com, where we've picked up this headline from the Associated Prostitutes. Looks like their state media has leaked their war strategy. Here's a spoiler. It's basically to link their fake Al-Qaeda creation to the Syrian rebel movement they've created. Oh man, that's worked so well in the past, hasn't it? And if you know anything about AP, you know that it's a factless, feckless, shape-shifting monster of a fucking website that is constantly morphing into another one of the government's lies. Of course, they're just dutifully reporting what they're told, right? Well, fuck them. So, we will read directly off Planet Fuck You. The authenticity of neither message could be independently confirmed, but statements posted on major militant websites are rarely disputed by extremist groups afterwards. Listen to our puppet as he's in the news. In an editorial published Tuesday in the Washington Post, Iraq's Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki warned that a Syria controlled in whole or part by al-Qaeda and its affiliates, an outcome that grows more likely by the day, would be more dangerous to both our countries than anything we've seen up to now. That's hilarious. Looks like plenty of blame's going around, too. The Baghdad officials said last week they have requested U.S. drone strikes against the fighters in Iraqi territory. A U.S. official confirmed that elements of the Iraqi government had inquired about drone strikes, but the official said that the U.S. was waiting to respond until the top level of Iraqi leadership makes a formal request, which has not yet happened. That's funny. So, remember the agent provocateurs that were in Iraq? Well, shit. The Syrian Foreign Ministry sent 2 letters to the United Nations and the UN Security Council protesting the Damascus explosion, blaming terrorists who received financial and logistical support from regional states and from other foreign nations. Man, just another sad tale in the war story here in America. Looks like our government's over there fucking around, poking a nest of hornets. I love how they use terms like that, too. This place is a nest of terrorist cells, I read on AP. What a bunch of fucking douchebags. Basically, war is bad. Unless we're sending people like this next fag to war. What do you think about American exceptionalism? Don't you love it? Aren't you just an exceptional, unique, special, God-chosen snowflake, you? Yes. Yes, you are. Especially if you're this dipshit. William Blakely. Looks like he's in court for masturbating out the window while doing 90 miles per hour. God damn, you say. Yes, no shit. We click on the link here. It takes us to WJHL.com, 11, news channel in your corner. Witnesses say, man, who's a former vice mayor, drove 90 miles per hour with genitals hanging out the window. It's got a pretty funny video of the report as well. Looks like he's just getting shit on left and right. And look at this fuck. Doesn't he look like some douchebag high school senior, Stifler type that's just getting his nuts handed to him right now? Oh, how funny. Let's read on. In Kingsport, Tennessee, 3 women testified against former Mount Carmel Vice Mayor William Blakely, graphically recounting times he exposed himself while driving. News Channel 11 had the only reporter in court for Thursday's preliminary hearing. I was scared that I was going to wreck. He was going to cause me to wreck, witness some odd bitch said. It seems that every victim would tell the same story, but I knew all the victims did not know each other, the police detective said. Personal accounts in Thursday's testimony started the same. Blakely allegedly waving to get the driver's attention, then escalating to honking and partially crossing over into the driver's lane. Waving, grabbing his shirt, kind of pulled it up, one of the witnesses said. After waving, it turned into a lot of beeping, him grabbing his chest area and asking me, going, please, please, clasping his hands together. May I? Would you show me yours? Each witness testified they were fearful Blakely's driving would cause an accident. He was taking his hand, wetting his mouth, and masturbating, one of them said. At over 90 miles per hour, he had his penis out the window. He was masturbating, and that's when it got really, really bad. I wouldn't look over anymore, and I wrote his tag number down on my hand, which I believe he noticed, and he exited very quickly. Detective Terry Christensen says it's her writing down of the license tag number that served as the catalyst for his charges. It went on for so long, and nobody's addressed it, Christian said, referring to the dozens of phone calls the department has received over the course of 3 or 4 years about this dude jerking off out the window. It's important that we make a report because if you don't, they're going to feel like they can continue that offense and continue victimizing more females. And that might be your best friend, your daughter, your mother, your aunt, your niece, your blah, blah, blah. How funny is this? William Blakely, the vice mayor, with his dick out the window. What a fucking douche. Fuck you, William Blakely. And moving on from that cockbite to the TSA putting their hands all over your cock, looks like Texas wants to introduce a bill to limit or greatly restrict the pat-downs by the TSA, even going so far as calling it criminalizing, which is hilarious. We click on the link here on Planet Fuck You that says Texas to TSA, get your fucking hands off me. And it takes us to a story on the CBS local affiliate, Houston. Texas bill criminalizing airport pat-downs is back, it says. A contentious proposal to criminalize excessive touching by agents during airport security pat-downs returned Wednesday to the Texas legislature like it's some gnat that won't go away, along with concerns that the federal government could ground all flights into and out of the state if it ever becomes law. The House State Affairs Committee heard testimony on a bill by Representative David Simpson of Longview that would make intentionally touching travelers' private parts by security officials illegal without probable cause. The Tea Party Republican introduced a much ballyhooed measure in 2011, making it illegal for anyone conducting searches to touch travelers' privates, even through clothing, while prohibiting searches considered offensive to a reasonable person. That bill passed the full House, but died after federal officials threatened to close all Texas airports amid concerns that TSA personnel could face criminal charges for just doing their jobs. Oh, fuck these fags, right? Reading on. Simpson promised to renew his efforts when the biannual legislature opened in January. Looks like he's done it. Though his new proposal is somewhat softer. It clarifies that security agents must be deliberately touching inappropriately rather than doing so incidentally during pat-downs. Simpson said his bill was more necessary than ever because traditional metal detectors at airports have been increasingly replaced by full-body scanners that basically allow people to be viewed naked. He said he and others who object to that now often have no choice but to endure pat-downs. The problem is this effort at security is really treating travelers, innocent people, as criminal suspects and making them submit to unreasonable, very intrusive searches. They're violating people's most sacred areas of their bodies. Newsflash, Representative Simpson. These motherfuckers don't give a fuck. And that's really funny. But hey, I hope your law passes. I think that's awesome. Naturally, you would see it in a state like Texas. And since we're in Texas, let's drive, not fly to Missouri, because I don't feel like getting my nuts groped today by some fat old man or a fat old bag whore. Surprise, surprise, it looks like these fucking pigs are selling you out in Missourah. I was very interested when I read this article, because it looks like the Highway Patrol are giving feds Missouri weapons permit data. What does that mean? If you have a concealed weapons permit, they're giving it to the feds. They're telling them who has guns. That's what the fuck that means, dipshit. And of course, they're just doing it for your protection. Kind of like those 6-wheeled street tanks. You know, the ones with you in mind? Yes, let's read on. Highway Patrol gave feds Missouri weapons permit data. List was sent out twice. Missouri's database of concealed weapons permits was twice given to federal authorities investigating Social Security disability fraud in a move that has enraged lawmakers already angry over potential abuses in a new driver's licensing system. Enraged lawmakers, huh? Missouri State Highway Patrol Colonel Ron blah 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 was questioned for nearly an hour this morning, by the Senate Appropriations Committee after he revealed to Chairman Kurt blah blah yesterday that his agency had turned over the data. The delivery of the information to federal authorities has become a huge issue for lawmakers since they began raising questions about new driver's licensing procedures. A lawsuit from Stoddard County challenged the procedures that require all supporting documents, including certificates granting concealed weapons, to be scanned and retained. In November 2011, and again in January, this dude said, an agent of the Social Security Administration Office of the Inspector General received disks with the data. Each time the agent was unable to read the encryption format and destroyed the disks, he said. Yeah, believe that. They said no names were retrieved, he told the committee this morning. They do not have those names. They did not disseminate that information, and all that information has been destroyed. We have asked for that documentation of what has happened. Yeah, good luck finding it. The data was turned over because the Office of the Inspector General is a law enforcement agency, he said. It was done by a mid-level supervisor at the patrol. He said he was not informed of the full transfer until 4 weeks ago. The intention was to cross-check the names on the concealed carry list with the agency's list of those with disabilities attributed to mental illness to find possible evidence of fraud in the system. Possible evidence of fraud? Let's read that again. The intention was to cross-check the names on the concealed carry list with the agency's list of those with disabilities attributed to mental illness to find possible evidence of fraud my ass. More like to come and grab their fucking gun. New procedures are being put in place to make sure a similar data release does not happen again without his approval. Lawmakers also have been frustrated by what they view as an attempt by department officials to obscure the facts as much as possible. Yeah, no shit. Police chief promised he'd be open, and he answered each question directly. I'm here to give you full disclosure, and I know a lot more than I did at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The frustration level rose again when Andrea Spillers, Deputy Director of the Department of Public Safety, arrived to explain why she thought what the patrol did was legal and could be done again for federal law enforcement officials. Under state statutes the legislature passed, it's a lawful, permissible disclosure. This fucking bitch. This statist fucking bitch. You hear that shit? Time to flee Missouri. State laws bar the Department of Revenue from implementing the Federal Real ID Act. The procedures adopted for Missouri licenses mirror Real ID Act requirements. State law also mandates that concealed weapons permit data is confidential. The governor has denied that concealed weapons permits were turned over to a magical database for federal agents to mess with Missourians. The requests from Social Security were revealed yesterday in an Appropriations Committee hearing, and police chief gave incomplete information to Schaefer yesterday. There's nothing magical about the name Real ID. Yeah, no shit. Anyone who's been awake has been fucking aware of this for 10 years. Schaefer said after this morning's hearing, it is the things that go along with it, the giving up of personal data, the subjecting yourself to identity theft without any due process before that information is given up. For weeks, he said, the department has denied it was implementing Real ID or turning over concealed weapons permit data. What we now know is we were lied to about the process, how it's implemented, how it's funded, and we were lied to about the fact that the Department of Motor Vehicles of the state of Missouri did or did not give out a list of concealed carry holders to the federal government. The delay for several weeks between the police chief being informed and him revealing the information and investigating how it happened also angered the committee. How are we supposed to know to ask if no one indicates you are involved? Senator Ryan Silvey of Kansas City asked. For 4 weeks, you knew this was going on, and you let us chase the rabbit trails at the Department of Revenue. Senator Rob Schaff of St. Joseph asked the questions during a hearing yesterday that revealed the federal request for data on concealed weapons had been honored. When he was told today that no one in particular was a target of the federal investigation of potential disability fraud, he said it was difficult to believe. I am stunned by that, Schaff says. I'm not stunned by that. Anyone listening to this is probably not fucking stunned by this story. We've seen this coming for a while now, haven't we? So, fuck the show me state, where show me your papers is in full effect.
Yes,